Hello all. Milk Carton here. Please insert a cool motto here because I don't have one yet. I would like to talk about a situation that you might find yourself in and I found myself in. I bought a Famicom off of eBay and it didn't come with any cords. I mean, that sounds like an easy enough fix. You know, you just buy an AV or the correct power adapter and you just plug it in, right? Not with the Famicom, because it was made in Japan. So, in 1983. It was made in Japan in 1983, so the cords are just a little bit outdated. And, I mean, it's hard to figure out, just looking at pictures online, which one will work correctly for your needs, you know? So that's where I come in. The Famicom was the first Nintendo console to be released. You might know that as the Nintendo Entertainment System, but the Famicom is really just the original version of the Nintendo Entertainment System. They marketed it in Japan as the family computer, but it was really just the Nintendo Entertainment System because they wanted more generations there to buy it. They didn't think that they would get enough revenue from just selling it to children and people that like video games, you know. So they wanted people of all lifestyles and ages to buy it. So as I stated earlier, the Famicom is an older console and it uses older cords. And what does that entail? Well, they didn't just have component wiring, you know, red, yellow, and white. They used TV signal, more specifically RF or radio frequency analog TV signal. So the cord you're going to need for that is a Nintendo RF switch, or my off-brand version is the 2Me. It works just fine. I will link it in the description below. They look really interesting because, well, let me pull it out for you. They look really interesting because, just let me rip the box over here. They have this little piece right here. It's like it's the RF coaxial male, or I guess it might be technically female, but it looks male. And I think this is specifically so that you can have this on channel 95 or 96 and still get your other channels, so that it has an antenna piece to it, attached to it, in case you were taking up a space on the back of your TV that you wanted to have an antenna. So, very interesting, and it was very hard for me to figure out to buy this cable. I ended up posting a lot of stuff on a Linus Tech Tips forum that I had to answer my own questions, and I'll probably link you to that too, because I'm kind of sad that post didn't get more. I mean, it could really help some people. So I'll give you a link to that. It basically just says stuff I've said in this video, but it's worth looking at because it shows my whole thought process. Because it is foreign, it is so hard to find stuff online about how to hook up your Famicom. And it is a very simple AC adapter, but it took me a long time to figure out which one to buy. And I didn't want to buy like the wrong one, you know. So this is what I ended up getting. It's a universal AC adapter, and it has plugins for the NES, SNES, and Genesis. It has, let me show you it. This is a really weird adapter. It gets tangled very easily. It has two cords that come out of it, and I'm contemplating just clipping the other one off, but I wouldn't recommend doing that at home because you might shock yourself and whatnot. I would do it I would cover it and make sure that the wires weren't exposed. Anyway, I'll put a link to this in the description. You don't want it to have more than it says it has an input of 110 to 240 volts and an output of DC 9 volts. So I've heard that some of the mistakes they make is getting the right size plug-in. I think it's this larger one, but it might be the smaller one. Getting the right size plug-in, I might just test it. And, oh, it's the smaller one. Getting the right size plug-in and not the right volts, so you can actually screw up your Famicom by feeding it too much or too little power. So, again, I'll link that in the description. Last but not least, I have to show you how to set up your TV with a Famicom plugged into it, because analog TV is kind of whack. So, to start off with, plugging in your Famicom, looks like mine is a little messed up. I think that's why it can be kind of hard getting the signal to go across. But you want to make sure that yours has the same back as mine does, or else you shouldn't buy the switch in the description, because I think there might be another version. But for me, this cord works perfectly, and I don't think a lot of you are going to have issues. So you plug this in here. Okay. Now, you take your RF switch, and you plug it into your RF antenna in the back of your TV. RF in. It looks like it should screw in. It just pushes on. Next up, you have to turn on your TV. Of course, all TVs are going to be different. I'm just going to show you how to do it with mine and kind of explain what yours might look like. You click that power button. It turns on. You want to change the input over to TV with, oh, I clicked the wrong button, sorry. With the channel button and then the volume to select. It's going to be loud. Or I guess I have the volume turned down because it's too loud. So I'm going to show you how to find the channel, because you most likely have something that says no channels found, or go find channels, or any one of those messages. Go into menu for my TV, and you want to navigate over to channel. Now, for me, again, select. I need to select this. You want to take it down to cable, and then click auto scan, and then I select it with volume, and then you click, make sure this is on auto, or, well, let's see what the options are before I just tell you yeah, just put it on auto, and then click start scan. Now, you might be lucky enough to be able to type in the channels you want to search for. Mine doesn't do that. Just type in 95 and 96, and it will be on one of those channels. Now, next up is, well, I'm going to get out of here. Okay, now next up is just flip the power switch. As you can see, up is on. And there we go. Now, the controllers are built in, so the one with the select and the start is the player 1, and the one with the microphone is the player 2. I'm not sure which games use this microphone, but it was pretty cool that they had a microphone built into a console so early. And you might get some static because it's a TV signal, not a very lucrative signal anymore. Now, if you're like twisting the cable in there and you think it should have gotten better but it doesn't, just come over to your console and click this reset button. It'll make your life a lot easier. So that's it. Now you can play your game. Oh, look. If it won't start when you click the start button, then that means that you need to click the reset button. Oh, we're having issues. But it's supposed to work, trust me. Oh, tangled up over here. That's the problem with the built-in controllers, is you might get tangled easier than you think you would. There we go. Now it should play. Maybe. Nope. There we go. Take 12 and a half. Good fun. This console is loads of fun. Once you figure out the chords and stuff, it is so worth buying. So many hours of fun I've had on this game. And I bought myself a collection of Dragon Ball games, so I had to start watching the anime. Oh. Rough.
So, today we are going to be talking about the Family Computer Nintendo program thingy. It's a console. It's called the Famicom for short. And yeah, so it's a cute little Japanese thing, and has two controllers that actually you can put them on the side. And I'm also going to show you how to set it up. Whoop.